I am now about to speak with Dan Baaker. If you don't know his name, this is not my problem. Dan Baaker and his brother Brian are fourth-generation bakery owners at Baaker Bakery. They are most famous not for their rolls or their bagels or whatever the hell they make, but they're famous for their predictions. It started with the 1982 Super Bowl cookie poll that their dad started. They made cookies for each team, and then they counted how many cookies were bought. Seems to me it's a better system than what's going on in the United States government. Anyway, I now have him on the phone. Tell me, how did this thing actually begin?
Well, on the heels of the Super Bowl cookie poll, my dad said, let's do something similar for the presidential race. And so we made some caricatures of each candidate and put them on a cookie and began selling the cookies and tallying every cookie that we sold. And we updated the results every day. At that time, we probably had maybe 10 or 12 retail locations in greater Cincinnati. So we had a very good, diverse voter population. And turns out in that first election in 1984 between Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale that the bakery accurately predicted the winner. And it was through all of our customers voting with their mouth. And we said, wow, this is crazy. I wonder if we could do it 2 times. And so the next election, we did it again. And the customers were right again. And we've been doing it for 40 years.
What kind of crappy cookies did you make?
Oh, they're delicious. There's nothing crappy about them. They are a combination of like a shortbread and a sugar cookie. So they're kind of soft, but then they have a hint of almond flavoring. Very, very good. I'll have to
send you some. They're vanilla-ish, not chocolate-ish. Is that it?
They're white in color, no chocolate flavor, but the actual flavor profile is more like almond, not vanilla.
What do you charge for these cookies?
They're $1.95 each. In the past, we've made a larger cookie, but with the economy this year, we didn't want to charge $4 a cookie, so we made a little bit smaller cookie to encourage people to be able to vote more often.
A cheapo cookie? I should buy from anybody a cheapo cookie?
Inexpensive with high quality.
Do they go by the box, by the bag? How do you sell them? One lousy cookie at a time?
One lousy vote at a time, or you can buy them online at buskin.com in an 8-pack. But if you do that, you're casting 8 votes for your candidate. We count every cookie, and our promise to our customers is we will leave no crumb uncounted.
So which way does Cincinnati go, with or without cookies? Are they to the left or are they to the right? What is Cincinnati?
Well, that's what's so interesting. Over the years, they've gone both ways. This year, they're leaning heavily towards the right, almost double right now. We also had a social media hit by Elon Musk, which drove our Trump cookies through the roof last week. We ship these nationwide, so you don't have to be an Ohio resident to vote. You can stuff the ballot box, but last week we were shipping Trump cookies all over the country. So he's got quite a bit of a lead currently. But if you just look here in Cincinnati at we have 4 retail stores. He's still got a lead of about 3,000 cookies over his opponent.
Well, what if somebody buys something that's bugged or that's got something else in it? Or I mean, it's like a banana republic here, the way it's running. We can tell who's going to be elected in the White House from your cookies. Is that possible?
Right. It seems possible, which makes this story so crazy. That in 40 years of elections, the customers have picked the next president accurately, with the exception of last election.
What happened last year?
Well, in 2020, our cookie poll said that Trump was the winner, but he didn't win. He didn't win the election. So that's probably a whole different story. But up until that point, we had a 100% record.
So what if a cookie crumbles or drops or breaks in half or something like that? Does that mean he only has half a year to run? What does it mean if you got a lousy crumbled cookie?
Yes, our cookies don't crumble. They're delicious. I'm telling you. We only count full votes. There's no hanging chads. We don't have to deal with that anymore.
Do you eat your own cookies?
I do. I love our cookies. Sometimes I eat too many, and then I have to take a break for a couple months. But they can be addictive.
How much in advance do you cook these cookies? Because we have an election coming up. Are they stale? Are they brand new? How old are they?
Well, we pride ourselves on freshness, so they're by the time you buy them, they were probably baked 2 or 3 days ago. So we bake them. The next day we ice them and put the image on. The next day we pack them, and you're eating them fresh as can be. Our cookies have a good shelf life too. When they're packaged, they last a couple weeks in a wrapper and are still fresh. But
how old can you eat a cookie? No, I'm going to interject something that doesn't belong here, but our cardinal in New York loves animal crackers. And I was over there at his residence the other day for dinner, and I brought him a big plastic bag of animal crackers. How long can you keep a cookie that it's safe to eat?
Gosh, I will tell you, we don't use a lot of preservatives, and it's a moist cookie, so there's some water in it. It's not dry like an animal cracker or cookie. But to be safe, I mean, we recommend you eat them, within a week or two of purchasing them.
Did any of the candidates ever come and eat your cookies?
I wish they would. I was just talking to my brother this morning. I said, I don't think we've ever had a candidate, hold up one of our cookies or come to one of our locations. The closest we got, I think, to somebody that high visiting one of our locations was, you may not remember, you're too young to remember, Dan Quayle.
Oh, I'm not too young to remember anything, honey. I was there when the Dutch bought the island of Manhattan, so nothing happened before me. Okay.
Perfect. So you remember that crummy candidate? I don't even know if he was. He did stop by one of our locations once, but no, we are hoping to get one of these cookies in both candidates' hands.
What about, you said Elon Musk, somebody was at your shop recently?
Well, the New York Post wrote about this story, and he read the article and retweeted it, and his billions of followers picked up on it and were, intrigued, just like you, and started buying the cookies. There's some pretty fanatical people out there that will buy anything with their candidate's face or name on it, right?
Yeah. So when do you stop selling these? How do you work it if there's an election coming up? How soon do you stop selling them?
We do it just like the polls. So we are open until 8:00 on election day, and we will sell cookies right up to closing. We promise not to run out of either candidate because we don't want to ever be accused of swinging one way or trying to sabotage the results. So we will sell both candidates right up to closing at 8:00 on election day. We'll be up all night counting the results so that we can tell Cincinnati who they picked as the next president the next morning.
Okay, I'm fascinated. This democracy. I mean, I don't quite understand. Did you ever call a bad candidate a crummy candidate?
Oh, we encourage people to choose, CHEWS, choose between both crummy candidates. We also offer an independent cookie party cookie that is for people who are disenchanted with both candidates. So you can cast a vote for our smiley face cookie if you really don't want to cast a vote for the other two candidates.
What do they look like? What do these cookies look like?
They're yellow iced, and they have a black stamped smiley face on them. They're the same recipe as the other ones, same icing. But that's our signature cookie that we've been selling for decades. We're famous for that here in Cincinnati.
Well, I don't know what else Cincinnati is famous for, but have you eat your own cookies? Do you eat these cookies? Do you know who's going to win at this moment?
I really don't know who's going to win. Obviously, we want the best cookie to win. We always say, may the best cookie win.
Well, if you send me a few cookies, not that I'm asking for anything on the arm, you understand, but if I were to taste one of the cookies, I would be happy to write about them. Right now, I'm semi-thrilled to speak about them. Do you have a hint at this moment about what's going to happen? Have anybody started to stack up their cookies yet?
Well, the Trumpsters they have a big lead. So if history repeats itself, he might be shown as the winner with the cookie poll, but the outcome may be different in reality.
Well, I wish you good fortune, and since this is the Jewish holidays, maybe you should try a few bagels. I want to thank you very much.
You send me some bagels, and I'll send you some cookies.
Okay, Dan.
How about that?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to talk to you, honey.
The same. You have a great day.